Okay, so of this 15.3% that you pay, that goes into the Social Security Medicare jar every month, half of that is taken out of your check, and half of that is paid by your employer as part of the contribution to the Social Security jar. So, if we look at what's happened to Social Security over the years, in 1937 when it first started, instead of 15.3% taken out of, thrown into the Social Security jar, only 2% was. 1% from the employee, 1% from the employer. And you see how it's increased over time. 2%, 4%, 5, 6, 7, 7 point, this is where it is now. And in 2008, it's still 7.65% by you, and 7.65% by your employer. That's 15.3%. And for Social Security taxes, it's only on the first $102,000 of income. Everything over $102,000, you do not pay Social Security tax. But you do pay Medicare taxes. So Bill Gates pays 1.45 plus he's self-employed, so he pays the employer's contribution too. So he pays 2.9% on however many billion he earns. Every year it throws into the Medicare jar. Okay. And the average Medicare check in 2009, the average, sorry, not Medicare, Social Security check is about $1,200 a month. So old people get about $1,200 a month on average every month from Social Security. Now, it's grown over the years. What's the problem? The problem is the demographics, right? 20 to 1, that works. 2 to 1 doesn't work, does it? Do you want to support your family and one old person? I mean, you can support your own mother, right? Okay, so let's talk about the very first Social Security recipient. Her name was Ida Mae Fuller. I have a picture of Ida Mae. Ida Mae. Ida Mae. Ida Mae. Don't spill beans on Ida Mae. Ida Mae. Check number 0000001 for $22.54. She got the very first Social Security check. Ida Mae lived to be 101 years old. And she paid into the Social Security system a total of, she paid into the system a total of $24.75. She lived to be 101, so she drew Social Security checks for 35 years. She withdrew $22,888.92 for her $24 contribution. Now that is a very good return on investment. And Ida Mae in her day was a real aberration, because back then you could retire at 65, start drawing Social Security, and most people died at 66. So it didn't matter. We only had to pay for you for a year. You've been thrown in, you know. But the average 65-year-old today is going to live, I just looked at this data yesterday. You see Alzheimer's already. 84 or 87. They're going to live to be 84 or 87. So they retire at 65. So they're going to draw Social Security for 20 years. And you two are going to be paying for that person who's withdrawing for 20 years. And in fact, Social Security recipients, on average, to this point in time, now when the baby boomers retire, it's going to get worse. Social Security recipients, to this point in time, get back every penny they have put in, plus every penny their employer has put in, plus interest in 4.5 years. And today, the average Social Security recipient receives checks for 12 years. You see a problem here? Who's going to pick up the difference between the 4.5 years and the 12 years? And for us baby boomers, we're getting healthier. We're going to live forever. And we do want new knees. Listen, if it messes with my tennis game, you're going to pay for a new knee for me. And what's going to happen is the burden's going to get even bigger. I mean, that's what this picture is. So, Ida Mae certainly got her share. Okay, now let's see what's going to happen to you. By the way, up on the blackboard is a Social Security calculator. Just put some data in there and check it out. See what you think. See if you think it's a really good investment for you. Let's look at this for a minute. Okay, so this is data on just a single male who retires at age 65. And we're looking at 3 different scenarios. We're looking at a scenario where this guy was a low-wage earner his whole life. He threw into Social Security, but he was a low-wage earner. We're looking at a situation where the guy was an average wage earner and where a guy was a high-wage earner. And we're looking at the situation these people face when they retire. And this is where you're going to see why this is a Ponzi scheme. The people who got in on the ground level do really well in the Ponzi scheme. But what happens is it's an upside-down pyramid, right? And you have to get more and more people in all of a sudden, like Bernie Madoff. Okay, so we have a single 65-year-old male who, let's say, retired in 1980. He retired in 1980. And his whole life, he was a low-wage earner. So, maybe it was just, minimum wage or something. And over his working lifetime, he paid into the Social Security system $22,900. This low-wage earner who retired at age 65, he retired in 1980, at age 65, over his lifetime, he had paid $22,900 into the Social Security jar. He's going to get back before he dies. Again, these are actuarial tables. On average, how long do guys live? He's going to get back, or he did get back, $54,300. So his gain over what he paid in, what his employer paid in plus interest is $31,400. Okay, let's look at the same thing. The guy retired in 1980, but he was an average wage earner. Over his working lifetime, of course, he paid more into the Social Security jar. He paid $51,000 into the Social Security jar. He paid $51,000. He's going to get back $90,000 because the amount you get back is, there's an algorithm they use that's a function of how much you paid in, not completely. Replacement rates are much higher for low-wage earners than high. $90,000 he's going to get back. So his gain will be $39,000. Let's go to the high-wage earner. Over his lifetime, he put in $71,900 into the Social Security. He's going to get back $114,000 over his lifetime. So his gain is $42,700. That's someone who retired in 1980. Now the Ponzi scheme starts to set in. Someone who retired in 1995. So the guy's been retired 10, 12 years. Over his lifetime, if he were a low-wage earner, he retired in 1995 at age 65, over his lifetime, he had paid $45,400 in. He's going to get back $58,000. You already see the difference. Look, he paid in $45,400. He's going to get back $58,000. Look at this guy. He paid in $22,009, and he's going to get back almost that much. So the gain in 1980 was $34,000. The gain in 1995 is only going to be $12,600. Oh, so people who retire later are in worse shape than people who retired early. Ponzi scheme. Average wage earner. Look at the average wage earner who retired in 1995. He paid in over $100,000. He's going to get back $95,000. for a net loss.